So J.K. Rowling finally spoke her mind about Emma Watson, and boy, it was way more savage than anyone could have imagined, and I'm here for it. You might remember, like 21 hours ago, 1 day ago, I made this video. Emma Watson is being eaten alive by the trans mob that is doing very well in this, this channel in which I talk about entertainment, the media, movies, etc. And what is this about? Well, she just said that, well, in one interview, and like in 10 seconds, she said, Emma Watson said, maybe she could have some love for J.K. Rowling, and maybe she could be grateful of her. That's so nice from Emma. But of course, that the trans mob requires that you have a complete and utter adoration and resignation to them and their ideology. And well, she was essentially being destroyed everywhere, because you simply cannot even be grateful that you are who you are just because J.K. Rowling's books, which is an objective truth. So we need to address J.K. Rowling's, let's say, response to Emma Watson. Not only Emma Watson has been eaten alive by the trans mob, but this is the most savage takedown I've seen in ages. J.K. Rowling on X. I'm seeing quite a bit of comment about this, so I want to make a couple of points. She is, quote, tweeting a video in which people are talking about this happening, about Emma Watson said, okay, I have some love and some, I'm grateful, a bit grateful for J.K. Rowling. So she wants to say this. J.K. Rowling, I'm not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once played a character I created. The idea is as ludicrous as me checking with the boss I had when I was 21 for what opinions I should hold these days. Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Such beliefs are legally protected, and I wouldn't want to see any of them threatened with loss of work or violence or death because of them. However, Emma and Dan, in particular, have both made it clear over the last few years that they think our former professional association gives them a particular right, obligation, to critique me and my views in public. Years after they're finished acting in Potter, they continue to assume the role of de facto spokespeople for the world I created. When you have known people since they were 10 years old, it's hard to shake a certain protectiveness. Until quite recently, I hadn't managed to throw off the memory of children who needed to be gently coaxed through their dialogue in a big scary film studio. For the past few years, I've repeatedly declined invitations from journalists to comment on Emma specifically, most notably on the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. Ironically, I told the producers that I didn't want her to be hounded as the result of anything I said, so J.K. was showing a lot of grace in here. The television presenter in the attached clip highlights Emma's all witches speech, and in truth, that was a turning point for me. But it had a postscript that hurt far more than the speech itself. Emma asked someone to pass on a handwritten note from her to me, which contained the single sentence, and I quote, "I'm so sorry for what you're going through." And J.K. Rowling makes it clear that Emma Watson has always had her phone number. This was back when the death, rape, and torture threats against me were at their peak, at a time when my personal security measures had to be tightened considerably, and I was constantly worried for my family's safety. Emma had just publicly poured more petrol on the flames, yet thought a one-line expression of concern from her would reassure me of her fundamental sympathy and kindness. Like other people who have never experienced adult life uncautioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life, she's ignorant of how ignorant she is. She will never need a homeless shelter. she's never going to be placed on a mixed-sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's been in a high street changing room since childhood. Her quote-unquote public bathroom is single occupancy and comes with a security man standing guard outside the door. Has she had to strip off in a newly mixed-sex changing room at a council-run swimming pool? Is she ever likely to need a state-run rape crisis center that refuses to guarantee an all-female service? To find herself sharing a prison cell with a male rapist who's identified into the women's prison? I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. That I told you, it was savage. I therefore understand from my own life experience that the trashing of women's rights in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated means to women and girls without her privilege. So Emma Watson has been speaking in behalf of women and girls that she couldn't possibly identify with. It's that simple. The greatest irony here is that had Emma not decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tack I suspect she has adopted because she has noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was, I might never have been this honest. Adults cannot expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love as though the friend was in fact their mother. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right and I've finally decided to exercise it. So, yeah, this was beyond savagery, and this is what we needed. What we needed to really see from all this nonsense, that you see these celebrities expressing these concerns for, let's say, movements that they have absolutely zero both experience or even morale to be talking about. They have no say in this. Ricky Gervais was right on those I think Emmy Awards when he said, don't lecture us. You're not here to lecture us. Again, I am not saying that I am here to lecture you. That is not the idea. I am here to let's lay out the facts, what is going on. Let's say what is the common sense approach to this. Let's say what are, the dots that we can experience with our own eyes and ears, and notice that, these people are crazy. These people are mentally ill. Transgenderism is a mental illness. I've said it time and time again over all my all my channels, all my socials. There's something that has to be addressed urgently and not encouraged over and over again and over and over again. And what happened to Emma Watson when she, for 1 second, just said she didn't talk against trans people. She didn't say that, all right, I take back my words. She just said, I still have love for J.K. Rowling. I'm still grateful for her. That's all that she said, and this is what she got. So she's finding out. Again, I said that on that video. She is in the finding out phase of this. And worse yet, she got the most spectacular takedown from the Rowling herself. Where do we go from here? I mean, as I was thinking today, precisely, I was thinking today about every single celebrity have their own right to speak in behalf of what they think is right. I talked about Quentin Tarantino the other day when he said that no matter what came out of Kamala Harris' mouth, he was going to vote for her. All right. I am a big fan of Tarantino movies, and I had to say, well, that is your prerogative, man. That is the way that you want to do this. Okay, I can't do anything else. Harrison Ford, that has absolutely no need of of going pro Kamala on that video that he recorded. I guess those videos where both Tarantino, Harrison Ford, Bruce Springsteen is more like anti-Trump than pro Kamala and Biden. But even so, you are imbeciles for you not noticing what was going on in the United States. So you realize that I'm not saying that, oh, I'm just going to praise celebrities that agree with my viewpoint, because sometimes I disagree with conservatives' points of view. That is a fact. I've criticized it in more than one occasion, and I know that my position, my personal opinion in a lot of topics is very nuanced and very unique. It's my opinion, and I'm not here to preach to you or telling you how to think. In fact, I've exposed that over and over again, that it's so much easier when we just listen to one here, right? Like in this studio. You listen to me, I'm going to just, I'm going to copy what Jesus is thinking. That is not the idea. That should not be anyone's intention. But so many people just go for it. And sadly, if you are a celebrity, so many people are going to listen to you and say, oh yeah, I'm going to think like, I like Emma Watson. I like Emma. I'm going to think about like her. I'm going to do what she says about transgender people and stuff. And sadly, that's our reality until you face a bigger reality, until you face the wall. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Scene Surgeon. Much love and bliss.